Hello again, everyone. Zacatech is here with my WWE Raw review for this evening, Monday, March 31st, 2014. And of course, the very last Raw before Wrestlemania 30, the go-home show of WM30, before WM30. When it comes to my thoughts on this being a go-home show, though, it was a decent go-home show. There were some decent setups, mostly storyline building for Mania. Some cool moments. Main event, kind of a weird ending for it, but it was a good ending though. It's a setup for the possible big main event for Wrestlemania. But before we get to all of that, we shall begin with, of course, a wrestler who is competing at Wrestlemania, going for 22-0. Of course, I'm referring to The Undertaker coming out to the ring. I like the effect the blue, like there's like blue light all over the ring. When you watch it on TV, the blue light, it just made it all bright and stuff on TV. The effect was kind of cool. When Taker was talking about 21 men have come into this ring to try to stop me, to try to defeat me. That was not the case. And at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar will feel the power of the streak. And he will rest in peace. At that moment, cue Brock Lesnar's music. Here comes the young man, here comes the poise. Cuckoo, cuckoo. But behind the beast incarnate, Mr. Brock Lesnar indeed. As he say, Taker, you want to get it on, boy. Get it on. But basically, it was Lesnar's advocate. Of course, Heyman doing the talking. And Lesnar at least teasing the fighting. As Heyman's like, it's a match for you to lose, Taker. Because Lesnar's going to beat you. You want a piece of you now? Come on. So, Lesnar came out. Like, he kept teasing Taker. Like, he kept, like, walking to the ring. Then walk back. Then he walked to the side of the ring. Like he did what the Wyatts did with the Shield like a month ago. Like Wyatts came close to the Shield and backed away and then didn't fight. But this time, Lesnar, he kept circling the ring until I should know that some sort of distraction was going to happen, which it actually happened with Lesnar's advocate Heyman tried to come up from behind with a steel chair. Taker caught that distraction, and Heyman's distraction was going to let Lesnar take a shortcut, but then Taker took him down with a big power move until Lesnar came back with a big clothesline, setting up the F5 to The Undertaker. So we'll see what happens. They're trying to make Lesnar look dominant. You know, that's what they're trying to do. Because Taker's been dominating on Lesnar. We saw what happened last week with the casket situation with Taker popping out a casket, beat up Lesnar last week. Now this week, Lesnar gets the upper hand. So we'll see how this ends up heading towards WrestleMania this Sunday. Will the streak end? You know, a lot of people say that the streak should end. I would love to see the streak end. I love the streak, but everyone says it best. The old saying goes, all good things must come to an end, including the streak. But do I think Lesnar deserves to be that guy? You know what I mean? We all know that Taker's career is coming to an end. You know, he only wrestles one match a year. And it's a good thing, but it's like, we know there's a big possibility of the streak ending one day. But do I think Lesnar's the guy who should do it? I think Daniel Bryan should face Undertaker. He should be the one to end the streak. But then they'll bury him if they do that. But Lesnar, I don't think is the guy. I don't think Lesnar should be the guy. But if WWE thinks Lesnar should be the guy, we'll see if Lesnar does become the guy to end the streak at WrestleMania this Sunday against Taker. But as we head on down. After that segment, we head on to our first matchup. Two guys involved in the match in Mania. The Battle Royal. I thought Battle Royal would be the pre-show match. It ain't the pre-show match. Pre-show match, which I'll get to in a moment, is a tag team title match. But we had the Battle Royal under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal participants. The Intercontinental Champion, Big E Langston. Or should I say, Big E. He dropped the Langston, so he's just called Big E. Took on Alberto Del Rio. Can't do that worldwide. You know, Alberto Del Rio. I did better that time. But anyway, these two had a decent little matchup. Of course, Big E being the most dominant of the two. You know, big muscles and the Ahmed Johnson-like physique. And Ahmed Johnson was an Intercontinental Champion like Big E, but make your own conclusion of how Big E's career is going to end up. Like Ahmed Johnson's career? Who knows? Anywho, Biggie Langston was dominant for the early half of the matchup, setting up his big power moves, and he was looking for the big ending, because his big finish. But the big finish ended up being on him. There was a cool little spot that set up the ending. For this okay little matchup between these two guys, it could set up a possible Intercontinental title reign for Del Rio. That's like kind of beneath him, because Del Rio is a former world champion. So Del Rio had Del Rio tied up King Biggie on the apron a little bit. Like his legs were on the middle wall. And Del Rio came off the top and stomped on him with Biggie's feet attached to the middle turnbuckle. That was kind of a cool little spot, which set up the big kick from Del Rio and the 1-2-3 victory for Del Rio, pinning the Intercontinental Champion. They could set up a possible feud between these two. Like I said, Del Rio could be going for an IC title match. But like I said, Del Rio's a former world champion. So we'll see how this goes. But Del Rio, like it or not, he did pin the champ, the Intercontinental Champion, that is. So there you go. With the big stomp move and of course the kick. You know, it was an okay little matchup from what I did see. I was doing other things. I was distracted a little during this match, but I did see the ending. This matchup was an okay match from what I did see. This match was kind of a silly match. This next match involving two divas. Involving our Divas title match this Sunday. The 14 Diva Vicky Guerrero Invitational for the Divas Championship. Vicky Guerrero was at ringside to commentate the match between Summer Rae and Natalya, of course, stars of Total Divas. Now, this Divas match, God, I think we didn't know the rules. You know, the rules of this match. We didn't know if it was going to be a gauntlet match. It's going to be a clusterfuck. Because Vicky Guerrero said, oh, the rules going to be all 14 women are going to fight at the same time. And one fall finishes it. That's like it's like triple threat rules, but with 14 people instead of 3 people. I smell a clusterfuck. It's stupid. You know, it's like all guys, then reach one pin, ends the match. You have 14 women. They bet you be all fighting all over the ring. Be kind of stupid. Like I said, it's a clusterfuck in the making. I'm sorry to say it. It's a clusterfuck. But anyway, we had these two, Summer Rae and Natalya. It was an okay Divas match. It was like silly though. I think Natalya botched the move. I think she was doing like trying to set up a power bomb on Summer Rae. She kind of botched it a little bit before trying to set up the sharpshooter. But they went outside the ring. And then Natalya went out the outside, and then Summer Rae took care of her, kicking her, getting her back in the ring, doing another big move, and Summer Rae getting the pin. 1, 2, 3. Kind of a cheap victory. It was like, okay, man, especially with Natalya botching, which is rare. But anyways, like everyone has those days. But Summer Rae, I don't think Summer Rae is gonna be the new Divas champion because she's in there, and I think AJ is getting punished for dating CM Punk. That's why she's being put in this position, or should I say, engaged to CM Punk. See that Reddit ring when we saw AJ wrestle later on in the evening. But before we get to that, we're going to get on down to our next scenario following the Summer Rae and Natalya match. Triple H and Stephanie came out. And I hate to say it, Triple H is right on this one. And I'm guilty of it too. He's like saying this yes movement's like any other thing. You just want to get on it. You just want to jump on the bandwagon. You know, bandwagon fans. You jump on it when it's good. You jump off it when it's bad. Like the whole Fandango thing. He wasn't going to mention Punk because, you know, Punk's fired. The Punk chants again tonight. Really, I said it last week and I'll say it again. For those people chanting those CM Punk chants, get the fuck over it. He ain't coming back. Anyway, Triple H's promo was right. Like, the fans jump on anything. And everything. And then jump off it. Turn their backs on it. Like the flavor of the month. Flavor of the day. I bought a Daniel Bryan yes sign when he was a heel 2 years ago. So I kind of like the yes thing from the beginning. So, but then it got really hot. You know, I got a D-Bryan yes shirt. And I like D-Bryan. But, you know, Triple H is almost right on this one. I hate to say it. I know it's saying in storyline, but it's almost, unfortunately, true that Triple H is right on the fans pick their favorites and then turn their backs on them. They like him, and then it dies out. The new flavor of the month will probably be Cesaro. I do like Cesaro, though. That's because of the fans. I do like him. But he's getting over with the fans, as we would see in our next matchup. And Triple H claimed that D-Bar wasn't going to be on Raw for the second week in a row, as D-Bar is assumedly resting from his storyline shoulder injury to get ready for Mania this Sunday. But then here comes Batista, and here comes Randy Orton, talking about Stephanie drooling, and Triple H even made fun of Batista's clothing sense. And Batista's like, well, I know who's got the brain and who's got the brawn. Stephanie's the brawn of the group. And that brought out Orton saying, blah, 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 Wrestlemania. And of course, these two would have their match tonight, the supposed one-on-one main event for Mania that's no longer happening. And Triple H made that match a no DQ match. So we kind of knew someone was going to go down during this match, including maybe an appearance from a guy we thought wasn't going to be on Raw tonight. Anywho, as we speculate on that, let's get on down to our next matchup. Mentions this all, I think, is the new flavor of the day, as a lot of fans were popping him and Swagger as we got on down to an 8-man tag involving all 4 teams involved in the pre-show match for the tag team titles. Now, there wasn't really a pre-show. It's going to be a 2-hour pre-show. But I think it's stupid how they're doing it. The first hour is going to be on all the social stuff. On the WWE app, WWE Network, YouTube, and all that. But the second hour, which will contain the pre-show match, is only going to be on the WWE Network. I have the network, so I have nothing to worry about. But for those who don't have the network yet, they're gonna lose out on the pre-show match if they don't have the network, unless they can stream it for free somewhere until WWE blocks it. But anyway, we're on down, like I said, all 4 teams in the tag team match at Mania. We had Los Matadores, Primo and Epico, Diego and Fernando, teaming up with the tag team champions, Jimmy and Jay the Usos, against the Weird Americans, Swagger and Cesaro, and Curtis Axel, and Goldberg. Axel. I like the new thing, kind of. It's like Ryback's theme of a little horn thing, referring to Curtis Axel's theme. But anyway, Usos kind of dominated the early half of this match with the high-flying moves. Of course, tagging in Los Matadores, trying to be Sin Cars. They were botching like Sin Cara, kind of, during this match. They're doing some of the flying moves, and they kind of botch like Sin Cara, almost. But anywho, we had a little matchup until one big move from Swagger gave control back to the Weird Americans team with Ryback. And they dominated the later half of the matchup with a tease on the Cesaro swing. Like, near the end, there was like so much chaos. Everyone was doing the big finishes. Cesaro was trying to go for the swing. Then it got blocked. Then Swagger went for a few times for the Patriot lock. Like one time, one of the Los Matadores came up the top, got caught in midair by Swagger with the Patriot lock, and then Usos would counter out of it. Set up Swagger to get splashed on. He did almost got splashed on, and as he putting the Patriot lock on the Los Matadores, with all this chaos going on, referee got distracted. Los Matadores did a little twin magic. The switcheroo. Hey, it's the same thing as twin magic, but it's their term, the switcheroo. As the switcheroo kind of caught Swagger by surprise. He thought it was the Los Matadores. Remember, he put in the leg lock, the Patriot lock, but then he got rolled up and 1-2-3 victory by the Los Matadores, who switched. So there you go. Switcheroo outsmarted Swagger's team as Los Matadores and the Usos with the outsmart Switcheroo roll up got the victory for their team. But this Sunday at the pre-show at Wrestlemania, it's every team for themselves. Of course, one fall to the finish in that match to be the new WWE Tag Team Champions. Now on to our next matchup involving more members that will be involved in the Battle Royal. I think Brad Maddox added himself to the Battle Royal. He added himself during the Raw pre-show on the network tonight. He'll be out in like 2 seconds. He'll be the first out. Brad Maddox. I'm hearing rumors about Rob Van Dam returning either the day after WrestleMania or at WrestleMania as one of the last participants in this Battle Royal. But Rob Van Dam's returning soon, so that's kind of cool. Next week on Raw. It wasn't, it's coming out on wrestling sites. But anyway, on to our next matchup involving probably more members of that Battle Royal. Curtis, Axel Ryback's kind of enemies. Like everybody's enemies, kind of. Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Of course, teaming up with Fandango, who's had his problems with the Rhodes Brothers in the last few weeks, especially involving Summer Rae, and the guy who should be champion, but maybe demoted, Damien Sandow. It's kind of weird they mentioned Fandango tonight. The whole Fandango thing, everyone did the Fandango, they went away from it. But Scaramouche, Washington, D.C., kind of weak crowd, but they were doing the Fandango tonight. So, Sandow would team up with Fandango in his little matchup against Cody Rhodes and Goldust. It was okay of a tag match. Like, Cody Rhodes is in there, dominating early half of the matchup with his big, flashy little moves till Fandango kept tagging in with his flashy little dance moves and dominating all over Cody Rhodes. So, of course, Cody Rhodes got the hot tag to Goldust and dominated with the coming in like a house of fire, dominating everybody. Cody Rhodes took care of Fandango with a big flying move out the top. Whoop. And getting on to the floor and Fandango taking him out. Setting up the finish with Goldust delivering the final cut on Sandow. And a 1-2-3 victory for the Rhodes Brothers in this matchup. So an okay little tag match. Now on to next scenario. Bray Wyatt taking on R-Truth. As Wyatt was of course going to send another big message to John Cena. But as we would see, Cena would have the message sent to the Wyatts. Now, the match first, we had R-Truth coming up with his little friend, Consequences Creed. Xavier Woods. We was Consequences Creed in TNA. So these two would face R-Truth and Bray Wyatt, and I kind of knew it was going to be a squasher. Because R-Truth's not done anything lately. But R-Truth had some offense. But of course, he was Bray to the Sister Abigail. Kiss of death in a 1-2-3 victory for Bray Wyatt. Xavier Woods tried to come in, but he got taken down by the Wyatts. And this is where the coolest thing began. I'm not the biggest fan of Cena's character. Of course, I'm calling him the man that is faster than Rey Mysterio, more powerful than the Big Show, able to bury careers and end pushes in a single bound, the most hated man in WWE. Super Cena! But I have to admit, this moment after the Wyatts match was pretty good. And pretty badass. Like, I kind of knew what they were doing. The Bray Wyatt and the family were doing the pose. Because I was like, we haven't seen Cena yet tonight. Trying to hype up this match with Wyatt at Mania. So we had all 3 members of the Wyatt pose after the match with the lights out. I was like, okay, I'm just setting up the lights. Setting down the lights so they can have John Cena make a surprise appearance. But I didn't know how he was going to make that surprise appearance. But the way he did it was kind of a cool, badass thing. Cena came out disguised with the sheep mask that he was given by being attacked last week and having it put on him by the Wyatts. He was standing behind. Like, the image was just like Bray Wyatt's on his knees. You don't do the... And Cena. Like, we all know there's Cena behind him. But Cena had the mask on. Came up behind him. Just that image of just Cena playing his own little mind games on the Wyatts was interesting. Took the mask off, beat the crap out of him, F-U'd Harper. He was ready to F-U and bury Bray Wyatt before Mania even starts, but Bray escaped, being buried now. Because you know Cena likes to bury people. But that move was kind of cool. We have Cena playing his own little mind games on the Wyatt by coming out with the, the suit, like a trench coat type thing. Kind of like what Daniel Bryan wore when he was in the Wyatts for that short little bit. And wearing a sheep mask, just the whole effect was kind of cool. Kind of badass, trying to play his own little mind games. Because Cena's character saying he is fearful of Wyatt, but he's going to face that fear this Sunday and try to retain his legacy this Sunday in Wrestlemania. And he sent that big message loud and clear by playing that mind game on the Wyatts. So there you go. Wyatt wins the battle tonight against R-Truth, but he may not win the war, unfortunately, against John Cena. Like, I would like Wyatt to win, because I don't like Cena winning anything. And here's a little stat here. John Cena's been in 11, counting this match, Cena's been in 11 WrestleManias, in 11 WrestleMania matches. This is only Cena's second match in Mania history of being in Manias that's not for a title. The first non-title match for Cena was, of course, the first battle with The Rock at WrestleMania 28. There's only a second non-title match in his WrestleMania career. It's kind of cool not having him see a title match with Cena. So there you go. Speaking of people who are in title matches, we're on to our next match involving the Divas Champion AJ in a Lumberjill match, taking on Pirate Naomi. Wait a minute. She's no longer Pirate Naomi. She took her eye patch off tonight. So, no longer Pirate Naomi. Because I call her that because of the eye patch. She took eye patch. She looked great without the eye patch on after a few weeks. Well, hey, she's getting ready for a match in Mania, being involved in the big not elimination match, but the invitational with all the divas at ringside, including Tamina. We had Alicia Fox out there, Rosa Mendez. Go down the list of who's in the battle royal. Oksana, Layla, the Bella Trains, Cameron, the other member of the fucking Dactyls. And every time they toss AJ out, because everybody hates AJ, in and out of the ring, they just beat up on AJ the entire time. Like every time AJ went outside the ring, they just beat up on AJ and they didn't push and get Naomi in the ring. Because everybody hates AJ. And even when Tamina was trying to save AJ from getting tossed back into the ring, they beat him on Tamina as well. Although the Lumberjills just beat up on AJ and Tamina. And I kind of, I have a little qualm for the Divas division not being as good as they once was. But I think Naomi's probably the only closest thing to being good besides Natalya. And maybe Paige and Emma. But you don't see that with Emma in WWE. Because Emma's better in NXT than WWE. But anyway. Naomi's probably the most athletic diva they got besides Natalya. Because she's very athletic, very flexible. And I like a wheel view move with all the Lumberjills taking care of AJ. AJ got squashed by the wheel view despite AJ's best attempt at trying to do her big finish, the Black Widow, and the victory for Naomi. Could be an omen. And Naomi has been pushed for a while to be the next Divas champion. For a while. Before injury, like there was rumors about her being in a one-on-one match with AJ at WrestleMania. Now she is in a match in WrestleMania against AJ, but it will be a match involving 13 other divas, including Cameron. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see if AJ's title reign will come to an end as a continuing punishment for dating CM Punk. And like I said, you saw already tonight that those rumors they got engaged over the weekend. I think those rumors are true. Now on to our next scenario, with a WWE fan poll to choose what member of the Shield would take on Kane tonight as they prepare for their big six-man tag. The Shield takes on Kane and New Age Outlaws this Sunday at Mania. So, the fans voted. I would have loved to have seen Seth Rollins against Kane, but I should have guessed, and even I voted this. The big man would face off as Roman Reigns would win the fan vote by a landslide as he would take on Kane. Now, or should I say, corporate Kane. Now, corporate Kane tried to go for his big power moves. It was an okay match between these two. Kind of a weird ending, but hey, it's all the build up for the match at Mania. So, as Kane was going for his big power moves, even going for a choke slam, Reigns came flying back with his flying moves, tossing Kane to the outside and going for his Kane underneath the rope, and then Reigns did the flying move, right to Kane underneath the rope. I love that move. He was setting up the Superman punch. And as he was setting it up, here comes the New Age Outlaws coming in, trying to prevent Reigns from doing so. But then here comes the other members of the Shield, Rollins and Ambrose, to prevent the Outlaws from interfering. With Kane distracted, he ran into the Superman punch from Reigns. And then as Reigns was going, probably setting up for the spear, all members of the Shield surrounded Kane at one point as Ambrose and Rollins flashed out of eliminating the Outlaws out of the situation for the moment. Triple team on Kane, causing disqualification as they were triple teaming on Kane and trying to set up for the triple powerbomb on Kane again. New Age Outlaws prevented that from happening. Getting ready for that match this Sunday. The six-man tag. This will be an okay match at Mania. But we'll see what happens. Will the Shield break up at Mania? Who knows? Because we've been hearing about Shield breaking up for months. That may not be happening for a while. The whole CM Punk thing has screwed everything around. So there you go. Shield losing the match, but the man that wins the war this Sunday at WrestleMania. Now on to Piper's Pit. Now Roddy Piper was I love seeing him on the show, but this Piper's Pit, he had no time to talk. It was all about the Under the Giant Battle Royal participants. And every time Piper talked, somebody interrupted him. Miz interrupting him first because Piper was trying to introduce his guest, the favorite for the Battle Royal. All these guys kept interrupting, Miz. I knew there was going to be some sort of segment involving all the participants in the Battle Royal. And unfortunately, it had to be doing Piper's Pit. And I know Roddy Piper wants to be on Wrestlemania. He's been very vocal about appearing in Wrestlemania. He wasn't even invited yet to appear in Wrestlemania 30, which I hope he does to make up for this Piper's Pit. He didn't get a word in edgewise. As everyone kept announcing, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, and he got into a little bit of a brawl. And all the other Battle Royal participants were coming, including Rey Mysterio, delivering a 619, everybody. Then, of course, the favorite that Roddy Piper was talking about. Well, I should have guessed. It was, well, it's the Big Show coming up, just destroying everybody. And double choke slamming of all people, Zack Ryder and Dolph Ziggler. Speaking of bandwagon people, as Triple H would say. Two guys who the fans loved, and then apparently the Triple H they turned their backs on, or in my view, WWE buried them. Anyway, Big Show celebrated with Roddy Piper. I don't think Big Show would be the most likely choice to win, because he was touted as the son of Andre the Giant when he was the Giant in WCW. So it will be very interesting to see if the Big Show does win the Battle Royal this Sunday. Or as we all like to call it, I call it the I want a WrestleMania paycheck match. That's what this match is for all the guys who doesn't have a match. They just want to get paid. They want to be on the show and get paid for WrestleMania. So they're on to our main event. Boo Batista in his hometown of Washington, getting a mixed response. Not as much boos as I thought, but still there was some boo birds out there. Taking on Randy Orton, the supposed WrestleMania main event. No DQ, Triple H and Stephanie, the Authority, were at ringside providing commentary for this matchup. As indeed, in this street fight, this no DQ match was decent. They used a candlestick. Orton used a candlestick, beating the crap out of Orton, beating the crap out of Batista with. It was an okay match for what it was. The ending was kind of silly for being a no DQ match. The way it ended. It was a good way to set up Mania, but the match never really properly ended. It basically turned into a no contest. As Batista and Orton just beating the crap out of each other, just doing some regular wrestling moves. And then fighting outside the ring, even fighting on the table with Triple H and Stephanie were. As Orton was ready, after he nailed Batista a few times with a candlestick, he did set up the double hook middle rope DDT move, trying to set up the RKO. But as that happened, a man we thought wasn't going to be on the Raw tonight did appear. I should have guessed why they made a no DQ rule. To allow Dayby to make his appearance. Dayby came from the crowd and beat the crap out of Triple H at the commentary booth. Orton came in and tried to save Triple H, pummeling on Dayby against the steel steps. And even Batista was going to feast on Dayby. But then Dayby would just dominate all over Batista. And then nailing him with some candlestick shots. And he nailed Triple H with it too as he fought Triple H out of the ring and everything, just beat the crap out of Triple H, sending a big message for the match this Sunday with Triple H and Dayby duking it out, and Orton Batista taking out. We end with all three men taken down, and the Dayby flew on top of Triple H with the whole crowd in unison yelling yes as Raw went off the air. Yes, yes, yes. Like the ending to set up for the Dayby hopefully being a triple threat match at Mania was interesting, but setting up the ending was kind of silly because the match between Batista and Orton, even though it was kind of a dull match, never had a proper ending. It was supposed to be a no DQ match, and the match kind of ended abruptly because of Dayby's interference. No DQ my ass. Anyway, but it was a good way to kind of end one with Dayby setting on top. Hopefully that'll be the end image of WrestleMania 30. If Dayby does end up defeating Triple H, I do hope that, just for sentimental sake, I do love Dayby, and I like this yes movement, and I've been vocal about The WWE fans choosing their favorites and WWE not listening to the fans. Demoting D-Bry for a long time. Some people would say he's a B-list guy, a B player, as Triple H would say. And I like D-Bry. He's a good athlete, he's a good guy, but he reminds me of Bret Hart a little bit. My dad wasn't a big fan of Bret Hart because he didn't like Bret Hart. He had no character, but he was a good wrestler. And that's what drew the fans in. Bret Hart was a technical wrestler. He was a wrestler's wrestler. I think that's what attracts people to D-Bry. He's not like anybody else. He's a pure wrestler. That's what drew people to Bret Hart, in my opinion. And that's why I wanted WrestleMania. 70,000 people in New Orleans yelling, yes, 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 with D-Bry holding up the WWE Championship. Or there's some sort of screw job, like an Evolution reunion, or CM Punk may come back. But that may not happen for a million fucking years. But anyway, I would love to see D-Bry win. They need a payoff for putting D-Bry through all this shit for the last 3 months. Screw job after screw job. End at Mania. That's why I wanted to end at Mania and have a happy Cinderella ending. Then the fans may turn their backs on D-Bry eventually. May die out, but hey. D-Bry needs a full moment in the sun that's longer than a day and longer than 5 minutes. And longer than 18 seconds at WrestleMania. When he lost to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28 in 18 seconds. Anyway, that is my Raw review. Let's go home before WrestleMania. So, okay, Raw tonight, hyping us up for Mania this Sunday. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. Thank you again for watching. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. And yes, good night.